And welcome to the Tavern. We took a ride around Arnie's place and brought back the #1 player in the world. We found a new golf app, and a little streaming series came out this week. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Tavern. Steve, did anyone catch my creepy Delilah voice in that intro?
It was, I was going to comment that you had a creepy Delilah voice on.
I went. My wife was in Miami this week, and she was in a Uber back from dinner, and she calls me and she goes, "In this Uber driver, he's playing Delilah. I haven't heard Delilah in years."
Wow. Hey there, Delilah.
Not hey there, Delilah.
No, not hey there, Delilah.
You know it's the radio personality, Delilah.
No. She still has a show.
She does. That's what I was shocked at too. I mean,
right.
We still have a show, so.
I mean, that is true. We have been doing this. We're now over 13 months now. We've been doing this, so that's pretty impressive.
Should we bring this guy into the mix?
Go back to Mexico and drinking tequila.
In honor of you, Dave. He's already even in Mexico he freezes.
Yeah, we're done with him. He's out.
All right, yeah.
He's out. When
he comes back.
How's your weekend? Playing dad duty.
Was good. Dad duty was good. We had a lot of fun. We watched Bay Hill this week. You went to Bay Hill this week.
I did. It was a fun weekend. Caddy the Wednesday Pro-Am. We were in Webb Simpson's group. We did have it was a really fun conversation. We had a member from Augusta in our group with us.
Nice.
And I'm not going to share who that was, but I will tell you that the conversation was amazing to talk to him about Augusta. I thanked him. One of the things that when we were there last year, we had talked about is I wanted to thank a member for opening the doors so that we could see it. And I did finally get to thank a member for opening the doors to Augusta National because they, again, make that decision that who to let in and who not to.
And they let you in.
I know they let all three of us in, and Lee. I mean, really.
That's true. I'm going to bring somebody back to the stage here because he's finally not frozen again.
Yeah, just wait for a second. Down here isn't the best.
Well, Dave, we'll just say hi real quick, and we'll let you get back to your vacation. Also, text us your pick.
It's a nice view off my balcony here, so we're getting ready to head to dinner.
Well, go enjoy dinner and text us your pick for tonight. Or did I already name your pick for tonight?
Who'd you pick?
No, check your text.
Text messages. Check your text messages.
Reply to your text messages.
Bill's been on my phone, so I'll check and see if you're right, and I'll let you know.
All right. If not,
I'll be honest with you. Really quick, he won last weekend.
And I can't pick him. All right. There we go. Text us.
All right, cool. Send us text. Okay.
Out of you.
All right. See ya. Bye.
Family high. All right. I think with that.
So yeah, no, I mean it was a great weekend at Bay Hill. I took Luke out both Saturday and Sunday. One of the cool things they do on tour is allow kids to get in for free, and that is a really cool thing. He had a great time. I will say on Saturday he got Jordan's autograph on a hat. Was really excited about that. On Sunday he literally, so they have it set up. And Greg, you've been to Bay Hill, so you know where they put the MasterCard tent at the driving range?
Yep.
So they've got a walkway from the putting green to the driving range that goes over where the patrons or spectators walk there on the cart path. And you go up and you walk through the MasterCard tent now. The players
to sit to watch the driving range?
No. The players walk from the putting green to the driving range up in a bridge across the
over. Oh, okay.
Yeah, through the MasterCard tent. And Rory came by because all Luke wanted was Rory's autograph, and Rory was like, "Oh, I'll sign after my round." This was on Sunday, and he stood out there for a while, and he got Max Homa, he got Justin signed, he got Justin Thomas's autograph, and a few other players. Harris English was there, was really nice, and then Rory shot 76 and literally had somebody from the tour lead him out and didn't sign one single autograph. And I have never seen a child so disappointed and in tears that all he wanted was Rory's autograph on his hat. That was his one goal for the week, and that didn't happen. So he was pretty bummed out on that. I will say I've got to give a shout out to a tour player in Cam Young. And we were sitting on 13T, and Cam came by on Saturday and gave Luke a golf ball that was already signed. He was changing golf balls out, and he signed it and gave it to Luke on the way by.
Nice.
And Luke was super excited. And then we saw him on Sunday, and Luke thanked him, and he came over and gave Luke a fist bump and said, I want to see you around the golf course today. So Luke was excited about that too, that he came over and gave him a fist bump. So I got to give Cam a shout out because the dude couldn't have been nicer. I mean, here you are getting ready to play in a tournament and in a signature series event, and you're taking time to come give Luke a fist bump. I was pretty pumped about that. So kudos to Cam Young, because that dude he's a good dude. So I will give him a lot of credit.
That's what we talk about as being dads on here. Like we went around. I've gotten autographs at Bay Hill for years, like when I was living there, and I love that. I love the interaction with the players, but I love it more when you're interacting with my kid and they're getting someone to look up to. So that's great. So cheers to Cam Young. So cheers to that. And with that, let's get into maybe why some of the drama happened. We have a new thing. So let's get into first round. All right, so season 2 of Full Swing has dropped. I hope you have all binge watched it like we have, because what I will say is I enjoyed it. I read some comments before I watched it, and I didn't try to give myself any kind of pre-expectations of what I was expecting, what was there, what those comments said. And I just went into it the same way I went into last year. Like, I don't know what to expect. I hope it's great. And I thought it lived up to the hype. What did you think about it, Steve?
I'm gonna read one comment that we've got here on Instagram, and it says Keegan got hosed, and that's
it was a theming.
It was a theming,
and we said that when we made our picks of the Ryder Cup last year,
right?
But and we'll get into those again, the way that a little bit later.
I wrote down. I've got 9 bullet points in no particular order that I wrote down out of this as I was writing it down. I'm going to go with the hot dad take first, and then the hot golfing dad's take, and it does have to do with Keegan. When Keegan gets the call from Zach, and his son is there asking questions that any child that age would ask as to why is daddy upset, and Keegan's wife, Jillian, says that daddy needs a squeeze and to go give him a squeeze. If that as a dad didn't get you and wasn't the ultimate dad moment of the show, I'm going to call that as one of the best moments of the show for me as a dad, because we've all been there and needed that squeeze. So from our kids, great dad moment, and I'm glad Netflix caught that.
So I'm going to jump on that right there, because I'm going to add to that. So going from that moment of that episode where it's dad needed a squeeze, like that tug at your heartstrings, but I also, what I loved about Keegan's moving forward was they were watching the Ryder Cup.
Correct. Yes.
And he was telling his son to cheer for Team USA and do all of this.
You know what the next comment that I have written down on here is? I have Keegan's son is amazing.
Yeah, he's also a Bills fan now.
Yeah,
he's also a Bills fan.
Yeah, we won't talk about that. I'm not giving any kid credit from New England being a Bills fan. But no, that whole thing with Keegan and his son and the dynamic there was a great, cool thing to do, Netflix. One of the other things, it's the first thing that I wrote down, it's point number 1 here, is that we learned that Justin Thomas wears Crocs with charms on them. And this is amazing. One of the best things I think I've ever seen was Justin in camo Crocs with charms on them. And all I could think of was, that's like, if Crocs needs anything to market themselves on, that should be it right there. Just tell me that Justin Thomas is wearing Crocs, and I'm like, every golfer should go buy a pair. That's all I got there.
So the other thing that I noticed, especially in like the first 2 episodes, is they didn't try to force an opinion on you of LIV versus the PGA Tour. They talked about both, showed why people thought about both. But what I even noticed and what I've noticed from it is you can see the fan difference right from this. Like, I felt when they showed
Yes.
Liv, you could see, like, that there was not many people
Correct.
spectating. Like,
Correct.
you can see that they have
Well,
a long way to go.
there's not many people watching on TV either. I mean,
But you saw the effect that it had on Rory. You saw the emotional toll and, like, that he
yep.
had, and then I like how they tied into the announcement of the PIF and PGA when that finally came down. Like, that whole thing, you kinda saw, like, "Hey, we're protecting this." It made me actually think that, "Hey, that's why John Rahm left." Like, that's why he went to Live was
Yes.
he backed this the whole time, and then it's like, "Well, now you're getting into bed with them? So
Yeah.
why shouldn't I take my money?" And I got that from
Okay.
watching.
So a couple comments I just want to go over. We've got there's a couple comments I want to go over on Instagram right now. One of them, hey, Drivebox Palm Beach. Yes. The comment, Greg, is we have to broadcast the golfing dads in the drive box.
Yes.
Yes, we're in on that.
Yes. We need to do that. We gotta figure that out.
Duff commented, Justin's Hamas dog is named Frank, and that's the best part of the show. And he commented that Tom Kim was a good part of it. It was very entertaining. And I will agree with that. I had on here that Tom Kim is better than we all knew. Fighting through the injury with humor that he did. I was very impressed with the Tom Kim episode. And I feel like that was a great episode. The next two things that I have written down here are number 3, that golf is hard.
Episode 3, Mind Game.
Well, and the next one is demons, is the next word that I wrote down. And I feel like as we came off of season 1 of Full Swing, and everybody fell in love with Joel Damon, character that Joel Damon is. You know, the demons that this game brings, and Joel had a lot going on. Obviously, they had a child, they moved into a house. There was a lot going on in his life outside of this.
Before this is even before it came out. He was doing stuff because this was filmed. Then he was moving, having a child, and all of that stuff was happening when he became popular.
Right. And that and the whole Wyndham Clark thing, and to show the yin and the yang in that episode was pretty impressive. And I think Netflix did a great job with that. Here's the one thing I wrote down is that Netflix assumed in this thing that non-golfers were going to watch this. And it drove me nuts because they really simplified a lot. And let's be 110% real. There aren't very many my wife didn't was like, my wife knew I wanted to watch it, and there was zero chance she was going to sit down and watch it. I'm going to guess that your wife didn't sit down and watch it either.
No, my wife, we ask each other all the time when we're watching something new on something like, hey, I'm going to watch this. Do you want to watch it so we can watch it together?
Yeah.
I didn't even ask this.
You didn't even ask. No.
I didn't even ask. No. And there's things she knows that I'm not going to watch it.
It's not like we're going to sit down and watch The Mandalorian. I mean, let's be real. Like that's a family event. But
like, no, my wife and I watch The Mandalorian. Like that,
right? We do too.
Exactly.
Yeah, we watch it with the kids.
This is not
great.
That.
No.
But what I will say is, I thought, and I'm going to call out names that were in the episode. I loved Amanda Balionis and how she talked about golf. She talked about it from an announcer and a historian of golf, like understanding the game, understanding it. Like she talked as a golfer. Like that was the great part I thought she did. Dan Rappaport, I swear all he did until the last episode, all he did was explain stuff. Like he was like,
he didn't even explain stuff. He just he
stated the obvious.
He Tim McCarvered it.
Not even. He was worse. He just stated the obvious.
Tim McCarvered it. Like Tim McCarvered.
I'm jealous of him.
Well, that was a single. The guy is on first base.
Yeah. I wish I could have gotten paid to do that because that's all I felt he did. Like I was
and
like,
the other guy that was on there, what was his name? David Dillon, whatever his name was. The other guy that was in season 1 too. Who is he? Because I have never seen him on any golf coverage at all.
But at least he was okay. Like he at least gave some insight to stuff I felt. But like every time Dan Rappaport, I was like, "You're just about to state the obvious, aren't you?" Oh, there it is. You just stated exactly what we all already knew. And to your point, non-golfers aren't watching this. Like, that's just what
No,
it is. But
no.
every golfer in the world is watching this, so you don't need
I
someone
mean,
to state the
golf
obvious.
is the number 7 most watched sport worldwide, globally.
Mhm.
Number 7. And you have in your Netflix, and you've done 2 seasons on that, and you've done what? How many seasons have they done on F1? 1 or 2?
I think it's 2 or 3.
2 or 3 on F1.
Yeah.
So you've got 2 sports that are kind of in that same part of kind of the watch and the what people watch globally, and you there's no reason to have to break that down, because the people that watch, like, you're not going to get the casual, even the borderline casual fan probably isn't going to watch that.
No, that's it's borderline. It's exactly what they are. They might
Borderline,
watch,
yeah.
they might not.
Yeah.
But it is amazing, and I thought they did a great job. I thought, like, the mind game episode was that one of, like, hey, we saw, like, the effect of becoming a star on the PGA Tour, what it can do to you.
Yep.
What, like, because I thought the
I
moment
mean,
where
I'm gonna say this, and let's throw this one out there and talk about what can it do to you. Have you seen the pictures of Anthony Kim?
yeah,
I mean, let's talk about
had a
what
great round, but
the star effect can do to you. I mean, that dude looks like he's been in one too many bar fights in his day. Now, like, he
but
doesn't look good.
no, but
He
and then
doesn't.
you watch Joel Damon, like, he was trying to keep his personality there. And that's what people loved about him, but he was also trying to win and provide for his family, because that's what they're doing out there, is this is their job. And
Agree, but
when that
he's
one
also
guy
he hasn't played well.
no,
I mean,
but
let's
he
be real.
hasn't, because he's trying to live up to this persona, and he's not focusing on golf. He wants to
Correct.
focus on his family, and he's juggling all these things, and he needs someone. And that's why I'm glad his caddy was there. Like, I saw it when that guy asked him for an autograph after a bad round, like, where he missed the cut, and he's like, "Oh, you're my
Yep.
favorite guy." And you could tell he was disappointed in that, "Yeah, you're my fan, but I'm not winning for you, and I'm not winning for my family, so I'm not making money this week." Like,
Right. Yeah.
it was you could tell the pressure that was on him, and it's true, these guys are out there. That's why, like, I feel bad that Rory kinda stiffed your son this week, but you also saw from this the pressure that has been on Rory from,
Right.
like, being the top and being that, and when
Yep.
even when you shoot, like, what to us would be a great score,
Right.
but to you is devastating, because you're not gonna win, and you're not gonna have that, like,
Right.
you're not even gonna be in the top 10. So, these guys put their heart on the line out there, and I loved kinda seeing that, and I hope that they get that help, because that mental help is something that a lot of people don't ask about in life, and I'm
Right.
glad they put this episode in there, because if you're struggling, ask for help.
Right.
That is the
Exactly.
thing you can do. Don't just let it go. Don't think you can get through it. Ask for help when you need it, because mental health is very important. I thought that was great. But
Um, I enjoyed it. I'll be honest. I enjoyed season 2. I thought season 2 was more action packed than season 1 was. I thought there were parts of season 1 that were just kind of like, like, you got through the first 5 episodes and it kind of went downhill. I felt like this kept your attention. They did tie. Realistically, there were a lot of episodes that tied together. Like 1 and 2 were tied together, obviously, and then really 6 tied into 7 and 8 with the Ryder Cup. And I feel like it was well done in that. I know that 7 and 8 were kind of a combination, part 1 and part 2, but I almost felt like it was 1, 2, and 3 with leading up to the Ryder Cup and then the Ryder Cup itself. The only thing that I didn't like about 7 and 8 is it gave me flashbacks the night that I stayed up all night and watched day 1 of the Ryder Cup, and really just wanted to punch myself in the face for staying up all night, because that was literally the most painful thing in golf I've ever experienced. And it literally was just one of those things for me where I was just like, yeah, thanks for reminding me of just how bad we played.
well,
And
I thought that the 6, I liked seeing why Zach did what he did. I thought that they didn't keep
no,
anything
because there
out.
were a lot of questions about the pairings that I still have a lot of questions
No,
about when
not
you
the
look
pair. I'm
at,
talking about the
like,
picks
on
that he made to get them
right,
there, like who he
right,
picked, why he picked them. I thought that,
but
but showing us that, I thought was really good. I thought that this, like you said, season 2 felt more of a story all the way through, where
yes,
season 1 was different episodes to introduce you to different people. And I think
correct,
people were expecting that in season 2, but and like introducing you to new golfers and things like that. Like, it was more of, this is about live and then going into the Ryder Cup, because
Yeah.
that's what this was about. This was leading you into that the whole
Yep.
time.
Yep.
And I like that it showed Zach Johnson and why he made his picks. I thought it was interesting that they showed how certain people were friends with Zach Johnson and were like at dinner with Zach Johnson, and then they got picked for the
Yes.
team over other people, and they didn't leave that out. Like, they didn't try to
No.
hide that fact. I thought that was good.
Well,
and
but here's the other thing, though. You kind of knew, like, I hate to say this, but
Oh,
you kind of
yeah,
knew
you
JT
knew.
was good. I mean, with Jordan being there, you kind of had to feel like JT was going to be there anyway, because they've been such a strong team in the Ryder Cup combined.
And they talk about that. He was the right pick in that you needed that veteran there that is going to pump everybody up. You need the
I
hype
also
guy.
feel like I also feel like there's the idea that, I think one of the things that, and I'm going to say this, and after Payne Stewart passed away, we really didn't have that rah Team USA guy that you need in the team room.
Yep.
And the guy that would, I've said this on here before and y'all made fun of me, but run down the hallway in American flag underwear and blaring "Born in the USA." You need that. And I feel like Justin is close to where Payne used to be in
100%.
that. But so I never minded the Justin pick because I felt like you needed him there. I just feel like the one thing that I will say is, if I'm a captain, I want guys that, and I'm not calling Justin Thomas a winner, but Justin Thomas' game was not anywhere remotely close to being picked for the Ryder Cup. I want guys that have won that year. I want guys that are playing the best. And the reason that they went back and changed this to the picks after the Tour Championship was the year that they left Billy Horschel off, and they got their asses handed to them. Team USA did, and we didn't have the best players there. So if you're trying to get the hottest players and the best players at that time there, Zach Johnson went completely against what we had learned in years past and went back to the old way of doing it. And that was my bigger problem with what he did, was he didn't take the hot hands. And
no, he didn't. And
the hot hands
in this.
In the hot hands, Lucas Glover was obviously probably the hottest player on the planet at that point.
Keegan was hot.
Keegan was hot.
I'd say Keegan was the second hottest.
He had won twice on tour that year.
And he was in top 10. Like, he was in contention all the time.
Yes. Yeah.
He played his butt off to get on that team and got snubbed. And they showed that. And I thought that and Zach showed how it was tough to do that. And he made his picks.
I also like Bill. Bill, you are there's that.
We said that. They showed that.
Yeah. I also like how they took and showed Luke Donald making his picks.
I did.
And I thought that was a really cool touch too, to show both sides of that.
They didn't show.
And I'm going to say this:
making the you're not on the team call, though.
Right. I also am going to say that it gave me a better appreciation for what Europe does in getting their team. Like, they are a true team walking in the door. And I'm glad they showcased and went and dove in on Hatgate. I thought that was actually really cool, and diving in on the interaction with Rory and Joey LaCava. And I'm glad we got to see that. So I will say this: Netflix, great job.
Yep.
I thought it was very well done. Before we get into happy hour, and David is waiting, I do want to do one thing. I've got to give a quick shout out, and I just got these back from getting some work done on them. I want to give a quick thanks to Cobra Golf. Got in some new dark speed hybrids.
Just released today too.
The 2 and the 4
the stores.
Yeah, and they are looking good. I've got my LA shafts in them, but I'm super big fan of the matte finish on the top. And we hit these at the show, at demo day at the PGA show, and they were absolutely amazing. So I can't wait to get these out on the golf course. You're going to see some videos and stuff of me hitting these. We got a big little match this weekend. Greg, I didn't told you about, starting on Sunday. I've got a 2-day little match. Me and Hayden are playing with the Bogey Pals.
You had told me about that. I didn't know that it was this weekend, though.
Yeah, it's this weekend, Sunday and Monday. So Hayden and I are doing that this weekend, the Orlando Golfer. So we've got a little match set up. We're doing on Sunday. We're playing at Orange Lake Legends in the afternoon, and it's break 62 in a 4-man scramble. Is our goal, is to break 62. And I I feel like it can be done relatively easily out there. We're hoping Mother Nature cooperates for Monday. We're doing 36 at Palm and Magnolia. At Disney,
58,
so.
my best in a 4-man scramble or 2-man scramble actually. So,
but yeah, let's move on. Let's go into a happy hour.
I want to be here, right? Okay.
Now, we met our happy hour guest at the Cleveland Strixon booth at Demo Day, and had a fun morning chatting with him, and really excited to bring him on. We had a conversation about him coming on the show that morning, and when we met him, and so let's welcome to the stage David May. David, how are you, buddy?
Hey guys, how's it going today?
Good. What's going on in Northwest Arkansas?
Well, the sun is setting. It was about 70 degrees today, and
oh, nice.
You know what? We were just spreading the unknown golf world around the word around the world.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So David, we met at as we said, at the Cleveland Strixon booth, and you signed us up for this app, and we were testing out clubs. And you guys did a great job of like making this actually real easy. So can you tell our fans like what unknown golf is?
Yeah, so I have a lot of different ways I describe it. I'll start out by saying that unknown golf is a scoring and leaderboard tracking, live scoring, live leaderboard app that can run everything from your golf club events all the way through your groups and your players and whatever. My best way to describe it is this. If you're familiar with Golf Genius or maybe a Blue Golf, if you're familiar with 18 Birdies, Grint, Golf Game Book, any of those, if you put them all in a blender and blended them up and poured them out, you would get unknown golf, because we basically do what all of those platforms do combined into one app. Nice. So for golf clubs, we have golf clubs all over the country and new clubs coming on every single day that use us for all of their course events, to run all of their tournaments, their member guests, their club championships, their Monday outings, whatever. They do so because of we are a super simplified ease of setup. Our interface is much easier for the players. We have more functionality, and we have a lot of other benefits for the players. So it's much more of a modern, upgraded version to maybe what traditional platforms have been. And then on the other side of the platform, we've got the player side. So we can do everything for you from provide GPS and green heat maps, let you track your stats. And then my personal favorite, we run all side betting. So we have just about any game. I do have the record for the most bets in one 18-hole round in our platform. I had 106 in one 18-hole round. I did come
we're going to ask questions on that.
Yeah, we're going rehab went well. And we just recently added the ability to one-click settle your bets through Venmo. So all that platform is built in, all with one scoring platform, one scorecard. So you can be playing in your club championship or your member guest if the club is running it, while doing all of the things of running your side bets with your buddies and tracking your stats. Or you could just run your golf trip or your regular group game with your golf league or your foursome with your buddies.
So you said you did 106 bets in 18 holes?
Yeah, I did.
That's 5 bets a hole.
I had a number of auto presses. I had it was a pretty big field that day. I felt a little sporty, so I maybe put in some Nassau's and some team bets, and then I had a variety of other side games and side actions. So, yeah, it was.
That's impressive.
Let's just say I probably didn't repeat it, but probably on a given weekend, if I'm playing, I'll probably have 40 or so.
Okay.
That's impressive enough. I mean, that's 2 bets a hole at that point. So
yeah, I mean, I really have a problem, but that's okay.
All right.
2 bets a hole again. I've played with those golfers.
Here's the thing. I don't care what we play for. If we go out and play, guys, I don't care what we play for. I only care about something to play for that we can talk about and have some smack talk. It's never about any kind of monetary value. It's all about the pride and the smack talk.
I like it.
I
I like
will
it.
say the most fun that I think I have. I'm not one that likes to bet on the golf course a lot, but like when I go play with like my dad's group, like they put games together and money's on the line for it. But it's not a lot of money. It's like $1 a hole at times. Like the most
Exactly.
you're gonna lose is $20. But it's fun because it puts that extra pressure on. And I used to hate it, but now I love it. And my one buddy says, he goes, he wants to bet me every time. And I said, don't do it. Don't push me because when I get in that zone now, like I'm gonna go
Yeah.
after it because now you're forcing me to I'm gonna have fun with it. So it's
100%. I
106.
believe.
I like the 106 bets.
Listen, it's again, that was an extreme, but I do believe that it makes you better as a performer or a player. I actually had a conversation with a gentleman named John Sherman at the PGA show who actually writes books and does some things around improving your performance on the golf course. And we talked about that very thing. I believe that it helps you prepare when you know that every putt, every shot, actually, there's something riding on it. You guys just talked about Joel Damon and Rory and the pressure that these guys feel. Well, this is nothing like it, but if we can prepare ourselves a little bit more and have some fun, talk some smack, it's fine.
Here's the idea, though. I mean, $5 to some people out here, is just as much pressure as Joel Damon or Rory McIlroy could be under. Like when you think about it, like what was it? Lee Trevino said, playing for $20 with $5 in your pocket. That's pressure. Like so, David, how did Unknown Golf start?
Yeah, so this is a really funny story. There's a my business partner, who's the founder of Unknown Golf, is from a place called Lantana, Texas, just outside of Dallas, just north of Dallas.
There's a great golf course there called Lantana. That's awesome, by the way. I've played
Lantana Country Club.
Yep,
that's where this was born.
Really,
he lives on the course.
So funny story about Lantana. It's the first place that I have ever seen a Roadrunner and a Coyote on the same golf hole. And as someone who is in their late 40s who loved the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote, that was maybe one of the funniest. And this was before cell phone cameras, so I didn't even have a cell phone camera to take a picture of it. And it's still one of my favorite memories of a golf course. So yes, that is hilarious.
It's a small world. So they have a group that plays every weekend called Bowl of Soup. They call it Bowl of Soup because they wanted everyone to feel welcome and not ever worry about what you were playing for or how good you were. Just treat it as if you were playing for a bowl of soup. Back what we were just talking about in terms of, the monetary value. And that's one of my favorite things about what we do. I love to hear everybody's group names, by the way. It's always a fun time to hear what people call themselves. But their group was growing, they were scaling up, and they decided we need to come up with a way to simplify this process because people had these scorecards and these spreadsheets and they had all these things going. So Bill said, I'm a developer by trade. I'm now in management, but I'd like to keep my skills sharp. Let me see if I can create something. So he started tinkering, started creating, and eventually he came up with this little idea that they could create something and enter their scores, and it kind of tracked it live. It wasn't long till the head pro came out and said, how do we get that? We would like to actually explore using something like this and maybe change a little bit from what we've been using traditionally. And from there, it took off. We started making evolutions and changes from what he said he wanted. And then the club across the street was like, how do I get that? And then the group over here. And it spread across the country, purely word of mouth. And I'm talking about some of the biggest clubs you've ever heard of, most historic clubs, on down to places you've never heard of, groups, clubs, whatever. I found it about 4 years ago when a group I ran, we were doing kind of the same thing, tracking things with scorecards and spreadsheets, and somebody introduced me to it. I immediately fell in love with it. Got to know him very, very well through the process of a few years using it. And then myself and another gentleman in our group ended up becoming coming in as a partner into the business operation. And we've that's what I do now, and we've blown it out. Last year was our first trip to the PGA show. This year we actually were named by My Golf Spy as best of show of the PGA show, and it's been sort of to the moon ever since. It's been an incredible year already with all the different things that have gone on.
Well, I have to tell you, as someone who has used Golf Genius and Blue Golf, and you've mentioned both of those here, your app sounds, for what we do from a tournament standpoint for World Amateur Golf Championship, it sounds like it's way easier and way more user interface for what we're doing month in and month out, because those events are once a month. But no, that sounds way easier to use, especially because of side games and things like that. So
well, and we've all had the guys in our group that who the scorekeeper is and the guy you don't want anywhere near the score. So it's good to have that app that you can kind of all look.
Dave is the latter. Not you, David. Dave, who's usually on the show, who's in Mexico.
Yeah.
So with that, I mean, it is an app. So I downloaded it today, so I know it's on the App Store for Apple. But is it on the Google Play Store? Like, how do our fans find this and get this?
Absolutely. One of the beautiful things is that our platform operates off of app and web. So if you're one of those people that say, I don't need another app on my phone, that's fine. Go to unknowngolf.com, create your profile. You can log in from your phone, and it does everything that the app does and vice versa. You can keep your scores from anywhere. You can do it from the app. You can do it from the phone. We're on all the app stores, Google, Apple, whatever. It is kind of an interesting thing. One side note, we have a product called Veriscore. So if Steve, if we're playing in the same group and you start keeping score and I go into score, it's going to tell me you're keeping our score. Then the system will automatically compare both of our scores on every hole and alert us if either one of us enters a score that's different than the other, and won't let us complete our scoring. So think about this. How much money could we have saved Jordan Spieth?
I was going to make the same comment. Jordan Spieth could have used this a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Wow. I love this. Nothing like a timely comment. Yeah. Nothing like a timely comment. Yeah.
That's right. We're here to save the people.
So
I was going to say, I like that you can integrate your USGA handicap in it too.
Well, that was the next question was, does it connect to other sites?
Yeah, we're a fully licensed partner with USGA. We sync with Jen, so we can auto post your scores. We pull your index in as long as we have it. Even when you enter your email address, we'll do an auto match up against the USGA to see if that email address is in use with the USGA, so that we can match them up without you even having to enter it.
So note to self, put in a different email address, because I don't want some scores posted.
Sandbagger alert! Sandbagger alert!
Listen, it's called, hey, listen, you know the golf course. I play in the Paradise Valley member guest. I need a sandbag for that thing. So yeah, you don't want it anywhere near that.
Play your game, man. Play your game.
Yeah, so and we that allows us to pull in any golf course anywhere. You know, we're fully synced with the USGA course database, so allows us to put it in. If a course gets re-rated, we immediately grab it and update it. So it's a fully synced process that allows us to give you the best of your game, and then it helps you manage your handicap, manage your bets, everything.
Nice.
I think that what we've tried to do is there are ways that players can, if you don't have a handicap, you don't have an index, you can still manually enter a number as opposed to that. So it's available for everybody, but we certainly try to make it connected for the everyday golfer that has a gym.
So like Steve and I, we take our handicaps, we put them in there, we take them seriously. Like we put our handicaps in. I play in a league out here that automatically puts my handicap into my gin as well. But Dave, who, like we said, not you, Dave, our other Dave that's on this show, who's in Mexico right now, he hasn't had a handicap in the past at times. So, but we know because we know how to calculate handicaps and how it's not just your score. We know what Dave's handicap is.
27.
Dave's not 27. But
he's the only person I know that's gotten shut out in the dot game. Let's just say that.
We could put that as true. But
we have the dot game, by the way. You can run.
You have the dot game. Okay, so then we need to go over something really quick that you said that. Sorry, Greg. I'm gonna jump.
No, you're good. You're good. Go.
We have some weird ones in the dot game. Can you make additions to the dot game? Like if you make par from the pond, we have an Aquaman dot. Like, can you add Aquaman in there for the dot game for us?
Can we make a golfing dad's version of the dot game in your
game?
Yes. You can add a dot for anything you want to add a dot.
Oh, we're in on this. We're
done.
Yes, done.
We got a list. Like we have been at times with the dot game where we'll do something that you're like, what the heck was that? And we just name it on the spot because it was that gloriously terrible that it deserved a dot.
It deserved a dot.
But we didn't have a name for it, so we make them up on the spot. And that's the fun part about it.
That's Absolutely. Where Aquaman came from. You made somebody made par from. I think Greg, you made par from the water. We're like, we need a dot for that Aquaman.
Yep,
there it is.
I think that's great. I think that's great. It's kind of like a Sandy. It's a yeah. No, we have all those. I mean, we have just about anything you can think of. We've got all the match play type games, individual or team. Nassau, Hammer, Auto Presses, Wolf Hammer, Vegas, Banker, Dots, Skins. We just added Scottish. We got Tilt. I've got all kinds of things. We have so many different things.
Have you ever seen the episode of The Office where they play golf, like the TV show? Like where Kevin's like, "What are we playing here?" Wolfie's like, I felt like you were just rambling off like he was.
That's me on the first tee, everybody. And the guys all know it. So I will just make up some random thing and start throwing it out. And they always just look at me and say, "Just tell me what I owe."
Yeah. Hey, really quick. Hey, Greg, we've been challenged.
We've been challenged.
Okay. Dalton Deerdorf, who, by the way, is trying to qualify for the U.S. Open this year, is a friend of mine. He's on the Wonderful Walks of Golf podcast. He's also the head golf coach at Salisbury University in Maryland.
Are you reading off his like he's about to tee off? Like this sounds like you're introing him.
No, Dalton says we need to have a money match on our YouTube channels.
I think we need to have a match that is on Unknown Golf. We need to have one.
We're going to track it. You can share the link. We have the ability to share the link so anybody can watch the live.
We need to do this. Dalton, we need to make this happen, buddy. You are much younger and more in shape than Greg and I, so we're gonna. And Dalton just said, "And in this corner," but
that's exactly what it is. Just like Jake Paul's going to die by the hands of Mike Tyson, and we're all going to watch it.
Please, can that please happen? I'm just going to leave it there. I'm not even on that road. So, so David, membership costs for Unknown Golf. What are we talking here?
Yep. So, talking about for an individual and not for a club, if a club was buying it, but for an individual membership, it's $9.99 a month or $49.99 a year. That's unlimited, and it goes where you go. So if you want to set up your own communities, your own leagues, own groups, you can do so. If you're playing in an event that uses Unknown Golf, it plugs in. If you're going wherever in the country, you're going to California to play in a group or a club event out there, it plugs right in. No matter where you're at, what you are, if it's in Unknown Golf, I mean, we're in tons of leagues and groups and tours, from No Lane Ups and Four Bros and GPO tours in Mexico and all sorts of things all around the country. Summer tours in Phoenix. We're in so many different places that are using us all around the country, and it plugs right in.
Can I settle my bets in the app?
100%. One click with Venmo.
Nice.
If you sync your Venmo and I sync mine, it will give you a button to pay a request.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. And if you don't want to do Venmo, then you can always do it just the old-fashioned way.
Cash in my bag.
Cash in my bag. Those bags that are never reported to the spouses at home.
Yeah.
It's like Wu-Tang Clan there. I never thought there would be a Wu-Tang Clan reference on this show, but welcome to it.
Welcome.
One thing that I always thought was like whenever you're doing these side games, it's good to just keep like your betting cash in your golf bag. That's what it is. Like you go up and down. You can replenish it if you need to. Hopefully, it just replenishes itself. So
Well, you know, somebody
David,
showed me. Somebody showed me
go-
came up to me on the weekend and showed me they were so proud of their new Venmo bag tag. You know, the ones that you've seen
that's
on.
become popular. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, now see, we're already past that. You don't even need it. You can just click it through the app.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's old school. David, when you and I first talked a couple weeks ago now, we had talked about having a friend in common you had met out in Arizona. And that's the guys from Dormy Workshop.
Oh yeah.
I do need to ask before we let you go tonight, did you see the contest that Dormy put up today for the head cover?
I didn't. I was actually talking to some
I
of the
think
people
I
today, but I haven't
tagged
seen it.
you. I think I tagged you in it. In fact, I'm
Okay.
almost positive I tagged you guys in it.
I'll check it out.
They did a samurai helmet,
Sweet head cover.
and it's
Oh,
literally
wow.
the most expensive head cover that they've ever done.
Oh,
It's
I
g-
did see that. Yes,
They teased it
I did.
yesterday, and they put it up today.
Yes.
It's literally a $5,000 head cover, and they're doing it as a giveaway. So I'm going to plug Dormy Workshop. If you guys haven't seen it, go over to their Instagram account, and there's a chance to enter to get a $5,000 head cover. It's stupidly amazing.
Bradley, I'm waiting on your comment after what he just did.
I was
Stupidly amazing.
I was actually.
You know, it's funny. I didn't tag Brad in that one.
Because you're trying to win it yourself.
You're damn right I am. It's that cool.
It's very cool. Very cool.
So David,
Awesome.
like with this app, we think it's great. Like, and I've downloaded it and started to use it on there. So thank you guys for putting all of this together. So we talked about like it's an app where can they find you? Like, is it unknowngolf.com? What's the website?
Yeah, unknowngolf.com. You can find Unknown Golf on Instagram. You can find it on, I guess it's called X now, but you know, it's forever Twitter in my heart.
Dumbest name change of all time.
So you absolutely, but you can go on unknowngolf.com. It'll talk about become a member. It'll tell you the different things you can become a member. Membership is actually free. You can go on and use our platform for free to be able to play games with up to 8 people in total. You can run some basic games of gross and net scoring. You can do you can even do a basic match play, individual or team 4-ball game, and then all of the other things. It gives you a little bit of taste, lets you try it out, and then you can even use the GPS. And then if you like it, which we hope you will, we believe you will, come on in. The water's nice, and we'll be waiting for you. Yeah, and every day we've rolled out.
Come to the dark side. We have cookies.
That's right. That's right. We've rolled out 2 new games just in the last like 3 days. We're always doing tons of new upgrades and features. It's ever changing. What you see today will be even more advanced, you know, in a week or 2 weeks. And some of the things we're doing with social connectivity and how we're going to allow people to create their friend groups and their groups for like private standings and universal standings of where your game fits with other people or within your buddies, how you can follow your friends and see who's playing where and how they're doing and talk smack with them all through the system. I mean, it's an incredible thing for just about anything you want to do.
That's something that I can get behind right there.
Steve, I think you and I are thinking the same thing. Like, we're going to need a golfing dad's one of like all the people that all of our fans and everything on there. Because I think last week Duff could have talked a lot of smack.
Duff could have. Hey, David, I've got a question here. It's actually from one of the Bishop brothers from Dormy, and it's, does it work in Canada?
It does ish. So it completely works in Canada, other than it does not currently sync with the Canadian handicap system. So what you would need to do is what we talked about earlier: manually enter the index or the handicap. Once you do that, all the functionality is in there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, David. Thank you for coming on and joining us tonight.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yes.
Cheers, yeah, guys. Cheers, cheers,
And
cheers.
enjoy Northwest Arkansas. If I may be up there at the end of July, beginning of August, I'll keep
Yeah,
you
you're coming
posted.
for that tournament, right?
For the member guys. So I'll keep you posted on that. If I make it up there, we will
We have some
try and
golf.
peg it up. So yeah.
Well, listen, I want to know about this challenge match, this fight to
Oh,
the
we'll
death
definitely
match.
hook you up with that.
Oh,
We're
we'll
gonna-
definitely let you know. We'll definitely let you know.
know.
You know what you could do. You know what you could do is you could even go online and do like color commentary on Instagram for it too as you're watching
we'll
things
totally do
unfold.
that.
We could have some fun with that. So
We totally
Awesome.
will.
I
And
think
we'll-
next year
we'll-
at the PGA show, we might need him for our rematch. The Duff, the Shank
the Shank
and
and
Duff
Duff,
versus
the
us.
Shank and Duff show versus us.
We
That
might
could
need you
be
as our
a
official scoring partner.
scorekeeper. Yeah, we might need to involve you in that. So
count me in.
all right, David. Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
Okay, appreciate it, guys.
Cheers
Thanks.
again.
Man,
That's
that was
it's
awesome.
it's a great
Yeah.
app. We got to know them at the show, and we just randomly ran into them when we were testing
Yep.
stuff out at Cleveland Strixon, and they were there, and they showed us, they signed you up for everything, and it's a
Yep.
great way to connect with your friends, do more with it, where like you don't have to have that one guy with a scorecard that has like a million things written down on there. You can do
Right.
it all in here. Like I play in a league out here in Indiana, and we use an app to do all of our scoring for everything, and it makes it so much easier because I played in an old league that was literally done by a guy on a spreadsheet, and he did a great job with it. But this, you can see this instantly. You can see this stuff in there, and it's
I hope Mike
really-
Klyer is watching, and I'm just going to leave it at that because the WAGC event scoring is little on the slow side. I'm just gonna
this
say
might be a way to
Um,
do it. It's great.
that. Hey, really quickly, there's a comment here on Instagram that says, "Did
We've been-
somebody say hole in one for Duff?" Is what the
Did
comment
someone
said.
miss this last week? Like we.
No, it's Duff that
I
says
know
that
who it- I
somebody's- Yeah. So no, awesome. So I think it's time for, as we talked about some smack talk, it's time for smack of the week. All right,
New
so
intro.
week, I'm waiting for Duff to comment on needing more dancing bears.
I can go back to the Dancing Bears easily.
So here is this week's smack of the week, and it is a literal smack.
About this his whole life. Oh, fuck! That is not good.
Steve, it is a year ago, I broke my shoulder skiing, and that's what you show? Like, it's literally the year anniversary of me breaking my shoulder. Like, I sat in a sling on this show
About
because
this,
I broke my
his
my
whole
shoulder
life.
skiing. Come on, man.
Oh, fuck! That is not good.
I wish my injury was that cool, though. I wish that was how I broke my arm.
I saw that. You know what? That was a toss up tonight. I went with that one because I felt like it was a real good smack. The other one that I had was a dodgeball one that I had selected, and it's a dude that gets 3 guys out in one throw with one.
The
ball.
guy, like, throws it behind his back and, like...
No, dude just overhands one, hits one dude in the head, goes to that dude's right, hits the next dude, and then rolls across the next guy's head.
That's not
And I
really a
was like-
smack. That's just, like, an amazing feat of...
Yeah, and that's why I went with this true smack of the week. So
Yeah, that was... Whew.
yeah.
Yeah, why? You should know that even the line from the lift, like, there is dangerous. Like, you shouldn't be jumping at that point at all.
Correct. At all. Hey, I got a question for you. Over your right shoulder, there's a blue hat. Is that Georgia Tech? I'm trying to figure out what logo's on that hat.
No, that is the greatest baseball team in all the land.
Oh, is that? It's the other way. Is that the Savannah
the
Bananas?
Savannah Bananas.
All right. Okay. Cool. All right. I wasn't certain, and I just needed to see what we had there. I was a little confused, and I was like, oh, I need to see what's going on with this.
No, that's
So-
a Savannah Banana hat. I mean, living not far from Georgia Tech in South Carolina, see it there. I have some buddies that went to Georgia Tech.
I was
so-
just trying to figure it out. It looked like a designer yellow jacket from Georgia Tech, and I was like, is that the bug?
Oh, I can
or is
see
that
it
what-
in the distance. Like even I'm looking at it on screen. Like, yeah, I can see how you saw
Yeah.
that. But no,
Yeah.
it's the greatest baseball team in all the land, the Savannah
It
Bananas.
is. It is. It is.
All right.
No. No.
What?
No.
No. What? Come on, man.
Come on, Bradley. Bradley, you need to have a
not for the reasons
drink
that
for
you
it.
normally have to.
Bad comment from Brad
Mhm.
deserves a drink. That needs to be added to the drinking
That
game.
was that's going in there.
Yeah.
So, but last
Let's
week
Bay Hill.
we talked about it. What
If he could find a
what
putter,
an event.
if Scotty can find a putter, the dude's not going to lose. Like
Rory told him what to do, and he did it. And look what happened.
mean, Sunday, 17 of 17 on putts inside 15 feet. What for the 144th best putter in the world? What?
I will tell you, from watching it on TV, it was fun to watch. Like, this was a fun event to watch. I've been to this event multiple times in person, and it was fun to watch on TV. So, Steve, what was it? I mean, in person, was it that fun to watch in person?
So, and TV did not do that rough justice. On Wednesday, at one point, the guy that I caddied for, we had like 200 yards in on one hole, and I literally hit him a wedge. And he looks at me and goes, "Steve, it's like 200 yards." And he like 5-iron. And I was like, no, you don't. I'm like, 5-iron's going to go about 5 feet. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, just hit wedge and lay up. Like, just hit it down there and we'll figure it out from there. And he's like, really? I'm like, it's not coming out if you hit 5-iron. Like, I'm going to tell you that right now. It's not going anywhere. And he literally hit wedge out, and he looked at me and he goes, okay, that was better. And I was like, yeah, no, like, you have no chance there. And they didn't mow it the rest of the week.
Well, and we've played
wasn't.
there. Like, even if you've played there when it's
Yep.
not tournament, that rough is deeper than
It's
you
thick.
think.
Right. I'm trying to figure out, and I wish we could get Jake Knapp on this show, because I'm trying to figure out, and Greg, you've played there too.
Mhm.
I need to know how, and it's not how he made 12 on number 6. It's how he hit one out of bounds right of the bunkers from that tee box. And I'm trying to figure that line out, and I'm like, you had
to bomb it.
Like,
You had to
like
bomb
that's
it to hit that out of bounds.
stupidly long. And
Yeah.
where does that even come into play? So, but no,
I was wondering the same thing when I looked at ShotLink. I was like, wait,
how do you hit it there?
why is that? And you're back. Where did you hit that? Like,
Right.
in
It
the
was,
parking
you
lot?
know where it was? No, it was
In
in
the
the
parking
pond
lot.
in the parking. It was in the pond on the challenge course over there.
Yeah.
The pond that's beyond the green fence, that he hit it in the pond.
Oh,
Pool
because
pond,
beyond the
pool
pond is that
pond.
parking lot that they
Yeah,
make where you
yeah.
park.
Pool
Okay.
pond would be good for you. That's where he hit it in the pond.
Damn, that's a hell of a shot.
So, no, there were spots on that golf course that were borderline unplayable. The rough was so thick. So to get around that golf course like Scotty did and to shoot that number, like and I'll tell you, I saw a shot in the Pro-Am on Wednesday. And Pro-Am pins are typically right in the middle of the greens is where they usually set them up, right? Like, there are some holes they'll move up. Like, they move the one on 18 up to the front peninsula on 18, not on the backside, because they want nobody anywhere near that anyway.
It's easier pin locations is what
You're right. So the second hole at Bay Hill, it's a downhill par 3. Everything slopes right to left. There's a bunker in front and a bunker long. And the flag in the Pro-Am was literally over the front bunker right in the middle of the green.
Well, and that
like
green is a 2-tier.
It just
tiers
slopes. It slopes hard that way.
It slopes, but I mean,
yeah.
you're on two sides. It's not like a level, but.
And the flag was right in the middle, right over the middle of that front bunker. Okay, so the play is, when I'm talking to the amateurs, I'm like, listen, just hit it right of the flag. Like, you need to just keep it right. Like, 100%. The further right, it's still going to go left. It doesn't matter. But I watched Webb from the back tee box hit one, and it literally landed pin high and one hopped into the back bunker. And you could hear it land. It was so loud. And you were like, that ball was teed up. And yes, he hit a draw, but like, there was nothing stopping that golf ball. Like, you were going to hit on the green, and it was literally just going to hit. And it took one hop and ended up in the back bunker. And you're like, all right.
I've played that course multiple times, and that hole, I feel, is always like that. But I feel that green is always firm, unless
the greens were
the rain.
Well,
the day before.
And they moved the tees up on Saturday on 17, and they had that front left flag. And if you didn't hit one on the front edge, you couldn't control. Like, if you hit one pin high, it was off the back of the green. The greens were rock hard. If you hit it in the rough, you couldn't get it out. You were hitting wedge out, most of the guys. Even around the greens, there was a spot on 6 in between the two right bunkers there on 6, the short bunker, and then the one middle of the green, where the players walk off 6 green. If you were in that, good luck. There was a chance you're going to hit in the pond. Like, there were were flags on that green that you couldn't go at from where that rough was.
The
So
greens that I always felt were the toughest there, like because of how firm they always play, was 2, 11, and probably 15 was
you know,
one that stays
it
pretty
was
firm too.
funny. It was 15. Just that hole is just hard to begin with. Never mind.
Well, yeah.
That green. It's always amusing to me that 13 is the shortest hole in the golf course, and it's the number 1 handicap hole in that golf course.
It's a deceptive hole.
Like, we're standing in the middle of the fairway, and the guys in the pro and the amateurs are like, "Where do we hit it here?" And I'm like, "Left." I don't really give a crap where the flag is. Hit it left of the flag. And Webb is sitting there laughing, and he's like, and they're like, "What are you laughing at?" And he goes, "Steve's not wrong."
No, it's a great approach shot.
He goes, "You do not want to be anywhere on the right half of that green." He's like,
No,
"Steve's right, hit
no.
it left. Like, take it left of that flag. Like, if you can hit it left of the flag, hit it left of the flag." But
It's a
no,
great
I
hole.
mean,
It's a well
that golf
hole.
course will always find a great champion.
Mhm.
It's always the person. You never backdoor your way into a win at Bay Hill. It's literally the best player that finds the W there. So you know what? I will give them a lot of credit. They did a great job setting up the golf course, and I really feel like, again, it's Arnold's place. It should always be a good test of golf. That's what Arnold wanted to see. Although it really didn't fit Arnold's game when they set it up like that. But you find a true champion, and that's what they found last week.
And I said this to you when we were talking while we were watching, when you were leaving, and I said, this is one of those golf courses that is just fun to play. I don't care
Right.
what you shoot out there. It is just fun to play. It is challenging, but it's not stupid challenging.
Correct.
Like, it's meticulously thought out on how that course is laid out. There are some holes that I think it's not like all 18 holes are spectacular, but 15 to 16 of the holes are fantastic. And
there's always the comment that Jack said, and he always felt like that Bay Hill was another golf course in Florida with houses on it. I think the changes that Arnold has made over the years to the golf course have improved that.
100%.
I think if you play the old layout and the shorter tees, I could see where you would say that.
Yes.
But with the changes that have been made to that golf course, I really do think it's a great test of golf, and I really think a deserving champion always wins there.
Yeah, and I think that you have those setup of those holes where you have to think about things where you have short holes, and you have holes like, I love number 8 where you have that dog leg, and then you got to hit it over water to an approach shot. But if you're long off the tee, you're going to be in another pond.
It still does. It still is amazing to me though that 8 isn't the hardest hole in that golf course, because it's literally like, there are certain holes in golf that you can stand on, and a hole that we've all played, 4 at Colleton, on the die, that give me nightmares. Like, it's the hole that Bagger Vance had the meltdown on in the woods, and you can literally be in the middle of the fairway and have that same meltdown.
Still the same meltdown.
That hole's that hard. I feel like 8 is that same way.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those holes that you just, Hayden was out there with me on Wednesday in the program. We were talking, we met on 9. All the caddies met on 9 in one of the pavilions there. And he was like, 9 doesn't look like it's that hard of a hole. And I literally laughed. And I was like, okay, good luck. Go to the back of that tee box and tell me what you think about it once you get there.
And how many times have we watched on 9, like, someone's putting together a good round and 8 messes them up, and then they get to 9 and they're like, oh, it's a straightaway par 4. Yeah,
good luck.
Not as much as you think. Good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah.
He's like, what? You can hit it in the right rough. I said, good luck out of the right rough too.
No,
you want no part of that. Yeah,
you want no one spot of rough on 9.
Like, I would take the left bunker over the right rough 100% of the time. So, but no, I mean, I feel like golf course setup. We go last week from Bay Hill. We go this week to the Players. And I'm going to say this. Good back to back. I also feel like TPC Sawgrass is a much better layout. I would hate to see TPC Sawgrass set up like they set Bay Hill up.
I agree. I think you set Bay Hill up, and that's the right thing for Bay Hill. I think that, and my favorite architect is Pete and Alice Dye. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you that they've already set that up the way it's supposed to be set up. Like, you don't need to change anything about that course.
Yeah.
The rough keep it at what it is, keep everything at what it is.
Yeah.
They set those courses up like I've talked to Alice before when setting something up at my museum, and the detail she puts into just that, something like a mini golf course, can only imagine what they put into their courses across the country. Like,
Correct.
do not do anything to any of Pete and Alice Dye's course.
I will say this. I love both courses. I've played them both, obviously. I've been inside the ropes at both. I know. Go ahead, Bradley. Go ahead and say it.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm surprised how quickly you put up your Facebook photo that you put up every year.
It's a temporary one. It's only for the week, just FYI.
I know what it is, but it's every year at this time.
Every year. But I'm going to say this. They're both amazing golf courses for very different reasons. I do think there are parts of Sawgrass that I would like to see a little different.
I don't disagree with you.
I think for the average player, that golf course, I'm going to say this. I'd set the over-under at 110 for Dave there.
I'd set the over at 100 for Dave there.
You'd set it 100?
I'd set it at 100 for Dave there.
I just feel like that golf course, there are spots on that golf course where you can stand up on the 5th tee at Sawgrass and smoke one and hit one great, and you're dead.
No, I get that.
I feel like
I think I would set Dave up on Tobacco at 110. That's why I would put him at 100.
I kind of feel, and I'm going to say this,
Sawgrass.
I kind of feel like both courses, the first go around, are about as difficult as each other. That's where I put those as degree of difficulty.
Okay.
So
all right. So speaking of that, I mean, we don't have odds with Dave this week because we don't have Dave this week.
No, we don't.
So
I mean, we could do odds. We
could.
We have these.
We have them, but I mean, I don't feel right. Like, that's it. Let's let Dave do that. We'll talk him, but we've I picked the winner last week. I went from worst to picking the winner, but that's been our theme the last 2 years. Dave was worse, and he picked the first winner last year. I'm in last this year, and I picked the first winner this year. So I had to make my comeback. And I said if Scotty didn't make the cut, which was only like 7 people that missed the cut,
correct.
I was quitting, because if only 7 people are missing the cut and the number one golfer in the world misses it, then I'm just a jinx to all golfers. But he won, so I'm still in this. So this week we got a great field. The Players is another fun event. I think it's back to back. Like, it's going to be like Bay Hill. It's going to be that.
Go ahead, just take Rory. Take Rory. Go ahead. I'm
not taking Rory.
Really?
I am not taking Rory. No, because I've seen what Rory's done. I feel Rory's head is not back to where it needs to be. I am taking a prior winner of this event.
Justin. Okay, cool.
That's exactly what I'm taking. I'm taking Justin. I think Justin's playing well. I think Justin's got his head back to where it needs to be, and I think this could be a good week for him. And I will tell you, the pairings this week, the 2 feature groups on Thursday, have you seen them?
I haven't looked at the pairings this week. No.
Oh, you have, I think what was it? Justin, Ricky, and Scotty. And then you have Rory, Victor, and I forget who the third one is in that group, but it's also another huge name.
Jordan.
Oh, no, it is Jordan. You're right. It is Jordan Spieth. That is who the third one is. So, like, those 2 feature groups, come on, man. That's going to be awesome. And I'm hoping that Justin and Scotty push each other, and I'm hoping that the 3 people that are champions that are playing together, Justin, Ricky, and Scotty, push each other, and that's why I'm going with Justin. So there's my pick.
Dave phoned in his. It's Scotty.
He did, and it's going to piss you off.
No, it's fine. You know what? It's funny. I had my list, and both of you can go to hell. I guess I'll go with the third name on my list, and I've already mentioned him just a few minutes ago.
Rory?
I'll go with Jordan. No,
You're
Jordan.
going Jordan? Okay,
Yeah,
I like that. So we're going buddies against buddies in this one. So
last week, Greg, we talked really quickly, and we did our online contest of and the King's Crown ended up winning. So we're renaming 16, 17, and 18 at Bay Hill as the King's Crown.
Yep.
I don't know if the PGA Tour or the Bay Hill Club and Lodge are going to jump on board, but that's what we're naming it from now on.
I
But
love it. Love my choice.
let's talk 16, 17, and 18 at Sawgrass.
I have a name for this, and my name for this, I know no one is probably going to like. And it doesn't fit a PGA Tour. It doesn't fit anything. It fits the architect of 17. I want to call 16, 17, and 18 at the Players Alice's Wonderland.
Ooh. You know, it's funny. I started writing names down, and I have a bunch that start with die or dies.
Oh, and that's why I went with Alice, because I'm like, I know, but Alice was
Yes.
the head behind 17, so I want it to be Alice's Wonderland, and I'm playing off of that. So that's all.
You know, here's my take as I started to sit down and write out names is when you look at where, and we talked about the Florida Swing, and this was where this started last week. You have the bear trap leading off, where you have the grizzly bear. You have the bear out front, and then you end at the snake pit where the snake is out there. And I can see the trophy of the King's Crown of having that, like you can have the King's Crown somewhere walking up to the 16th tee at Bay Hill, and that's where
I almost want Arnie in like the Notorious B.I.G. like painting with the crown. I want Arnie with that. That's what I want.
So I went on, where can you come up with, because I feel like you need that photo op of something signifying the entrance to this.
I have a funny answer for that.
So like some of them that I wrote down, I wrote Island Time. And I kind of feel like you have to go and it needs to be centered around water. Like that is my big thing. Or railroad ties.
I was gonna say I just want a giant railroad tie. That's what I want the photo to be.
One of the ones that I wrote down, funny enough, was Dye's ties. Because Pete Dye is known for his railroad ties.
Yeah.
Like when you look at Dye course designs. I also thought of the idea that you have just south of there, you have St. Augustine, oldest city in America, a lot of piracy. So I put the Dye's Plunder.
Ooh,
was one of the names I wrote. Was one of the names I wrote down. I also wrote down the Player's Poison.
Okay.
The Sawgrass Special.
No, that sounds like something you'd pay someone for.
The next one I wrote down, all I could think of was Stone Cold Steve Austin and calling it the Sawgrass Stunner.
All right, now you're just going WWE, and that's like
but the one name that I kept going back to was calling it the Watery Grave. Because if you can avoid the water, you win. If you hit it in the water, you lose. I mean, the only guy that I know that hit it in the water at any point and won the golf tournament was Adam Scott, and he did it on 18.
Yeah.
And that was 20 years ago. So I kind of feel like you have to center it around what are all three of those holes have in common? It's water. And pine trees.
That's true.
But there really aren't any pine trees on 17.
The railroad ties are on all three.
Yep. And I was trying to tie it in of how do you tie it into all three holes, not just the island. Like, I love the idea of calling it Island Time and you put a clock out there with an island on it.
It's only 17.
But it's only 17. So the other idea, Dye's Crossing.
Dye's Crossing. So I was thinking about like, I feel everything you tie with Pete Dye and like Dye's Crossing, Diabolical. I feel these are better names for an entire course.
Dynasty.
Yeah, once again, no, that's I got you on that one.
Or Dynasty.
Dynasty.
But
I feel like
again,
with like everything, like Amen's Corner, it's a corner. It's three pillars. Like with the bear trap, it's a trap. It's not like it's this. With the
Mike
King's
Mike
Crown,
just
it's like
commented the plank, and I wrote one of the names I wrote down was Dye's plank.
I like Dye's plank. I really do like that. This is a tough one. So I mean, I think we put it up to some people. I think we put this up on Facebook and Instagram again and asked people, because I feel with the other one we liked our three that were out there, and some other people put some other stuff and made some comments. So I think we leave it up to the fans on this one.
Yep.
I think you gave them some great ideas out there. And I think this is going to be a good week. I think the Players is a fun test of golf. I think
Yep.
it's a fun course to watch, because you have a 17 is such an iconic hole, and it's a short, like anyone can play that hole, but like you got
It's an easy hole 51 other weeks of the year.
It's
like literally
you got to pinpoint it, but it's the pressure to hit that exact shot at that exact moment.
Oh, Duff may have just thrown it. Die time. Duff may have just die time.
Did he just hit a hole in one on 17?
He may have. And I mean, you know what's funny? As I've played that hole 4 times, I've never missed the green. I've never hit in the water. I've hit the green all 4 times I've played it.
Yeah.
It depending on what the wind is doing, it's either 9 iron or just hold off 8. That's all it is.
But you're not playing under the pressure of.
I'm not playing with 25,000 people standing around there watching me and screaming.
$1 billion.
You know, it's funny. I've been in the second to last group. I was a walking score in the second to last group in '98. It's one of the few times, you know, when players talk about, Jordan used to talk about this all the time, of being in the zone and not hearing what's going on in the arena around you and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you this, I've seen it on video, I don't know, countless times at this point. Lenny hits the shot on 17, and Scott Hoke had hit one up there like this. He nearly made a hole in one in front of Lenny. And Lenny hits it, and I'm sitting there, and you literally, I didn't hear a thing. I literally just watched the golf ball, and I'm literally going, go in. Like, it was one of the greatest golf shots I've ever seen anybody hit. It was flagged. And you're like, oh, this thing's got a chance to go in. And I never heard anything until Lenny looked over at Roger Maltby, who was standing to my right. And he said, did that go in the water, Roger? And Roger didn't even look at him. He looked away and nodded his head yes. Wouldn't look him in the eye. And I'm literally grabbing for my yardage book, still not hearing anything. And I'm looking at a number because I got a yardage book here, and I'm looking at where the pin is, and I'm counting numbers, and I'm like, it's 146 carry. And it was a 3/4 9-iron that he hit. And it was one of those moments in life where you look back and you're like, I had a front row seat for one of the greatest moments in golf tournament history. And players, it goes down in players' history as one of the greatest moments in players' history. And I had a front row seat for it.
Yeah. And
it didn't have the outcome that I wanted. And it literally was one of those moments that you look back in your life and you're like, man, that sucked. It sucked for Len. I would be honest with you. I wanted Len to win that golf tournament so bad. But it was one of those moments where you look back at your life and you're like, I had a front row seat for one of the coolest. That was probably the best weekend I had in 4 years of college. I'll admit that. It was one of the best. It was the best weekend I had in 4 years of college.
And that's what this game does, is you get to witness things like that. And we've all hit shots that have been those amazing shots, and you get to witness things you get to be a part of history. That's something that is fun about sports. It's fun about golf that we want to get our kids into, that we want to get them to understand that they're doing that. That's what this is. So, I mean, with that, This is a great show. Thank you, Unknown Golf, for coming on. Everyone get ready for the 50th anniversary of the Players. I think it's the 43rd
I can't wait.
year. It's at TPC Sawgrass, the 43rd year.
Yep. And stay tuned on Sunday and Monday. Hopefully Mother Nature cooperates on our social media channels, because we're going to post some cool stuff in part of our matches that I'll be in this weekend with the Bogey Pals and with Hayden from the Orlando Golfer.
Perfect. Well, thank you everyone for watching, and don't forget to tip your bartender.
Really fortunate, man. I mean, have an opportunity to build something
everybody from California.
I hate that Instagram lags behind our live feed.
My thing's lagging that we're not out yet. We're still live. I hit end.